Charlotte, and on behalf of the City Club, I would like to welcome you to the Cleveland Youth Forum. Today we have a very special guest, Johanna Orozco. She's a teen educator for domestic violence center of Greater Cleveland, as well as parts of Speakers Bureaus and Operation Keepsake, Inc. Johanna has turned tragedy into triumph after being in an abusive relationship for 2 years. She had the courage to leave her abuser, and a decision that almost took her life. So that sucks. Shortly after leaving him, her former boyfriend sexually assaulted her and later shot her in the face with a sawed-off shotgun. That's hard to imagine. Johanna shares her compelling story with schools, communities, organizations, parents, and considered citizens to educate them about dating violence. Johanna focuses on her self-confidence and what signs to look for an unhealthy relationship. If this sounds cheesy or sad, I have to read it from a paper, not my words. Johanna has been featured in The Plain Dealer and has appeared on 2020 as well as Oprah Winfrey Show, which is pretty cool. Currently, Johanna is pursuing a degree in psychology at a local college in Cleveland, Ohio. So please welcome Miss Johanna Orozco. Oh, you can do better than that. Come on.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's good to see such a big, full room with lots of kids. Oh, sorry. Teens, young men, and young women here. Well, I am here I'm here today to share with you my story from beginning to end. In the end, I'm gonna leave time for some questions. So please, as I'm telling my story, think of some questions you might want to ask, okay? Because I am very terrified of that awkward silence towards the end, okay? So I am going to start off by saying that I've known my ex-boyfriend since the 2nd grade. We grew up in school together. He was a really, really, really good friend. But, at that time, elementary, boys and girls have cooties, and we really don't talk. The only time we really play around is during recess time. When we play tag, hide and go seek, dodgeball. I don't know what elementary school kids do nowadays, but back in the day, that's what we did. And as many years went by, 6th grade year came. 6th grade year was more like, boys, they start thinking they're big and bad because their voice start getting deeper and they start getting hair patches on their face. So they thinking they grown. So I didn't really talk to Juan as much because that's where he started thinking that he was a ladies' man. And he was very, very popular. So at that time of my life, 6th grade, I was a very shy person. Hard to believe, but I was very shy and quiet. So I was really, really scared to talk to Juan in 6th grade. Again, many years went by, and it was the summer of 2004. The summer of 2004 was the ending of my freshman year, if that's if I am correct. Maybe Miss Miller can help me there. But the ending of my freshman year, one of my friends came over to my house, and she was telling me all about her new boyfriend, her boyfriend this and her boyfriend that, and I was just rolling my eyes at her because she was only dating this guy for 3 days and she was already in love with the kid, okay? So I'm just rolling my eyes and whatever, and then she starts asking me, hey, you want to come with me to my boyfriend's house? And I say, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go. So we grabbed our bikes, and we're riding our bikes to her boyfriend's house, and when we got there, I said hi to everyone there. I said hi to her boyfriend. I met him. Then out of nowhere, Juan, which is my ex-boyfriend's name, Juan came out from one of the rooms. And we're looking at each other, and I'm looking at him back and forth, and I'm like, what are you doing here? And he starts laughing, and he's like, what do you mean, what am I doing here? This is my house. What are you doing at my house? And I'm like, I'm here with her. So what I ended up learning was that my friend was dating his stepbrother. Didn't have any idea. So that day, we just sat down and we hung out like normal teenagers. You know how we are. Chill, play video games, stuff like that. And then at that time of my life, I was 15 years old, and I had curfew. And I didn't want to get in trouble, so I had to get going. And at that time, I didn't have a cell phone. So right before I left, Juan asked me for my number. And I said, sure. Kidding. I didn't say sure. You know, that's what girls mostly do nowadays, no offense. You know, they just give him the number. When Juan asked me for my number, I said no to him. And I told him, I'll just take your number, and I will give you a call whenever I had the chance to call you. So I took his number, and I left. So a month went by, and I decided to call him. And, what? And so when I called him, he was very, very, very happy to hear from me. He even thought I threw his number away. And I said, no, I just had it on my stash, and I was looking through it, and your name came up. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. I went that night on the phone. I'm telling you, we talked about everything and anything that you can imagine. We were on the phone for like about almost 4 hours that night. And as I was getting to know him and what he liked to do and who he was as a person, I felt attracted to him. And I started to like him. And I'm like, wow, we had a lot in common. But what really, really connected us wasn't only about that both of our favorite color was green or that we were both Hispanic. It was more the fact that how we grew up at our home. Growing up, Juan's father was abusive to his mother, him, and his little sister. Same thing with my family. My father was abusive to my mother, me, and my little brother. And while we were talking, I learned that his parents divorced because of the situation. And so I'm going to share with you the short version of the very long version of what I told him with what happened with my family. My parents were going through a divorce. While going through a divorce, my mother moved out of state, and she took my brother and I with her to Tennessee. So while we were living down there, we were happy, a new life. And one day, my father called my mother, crying to her, asking her for another chance, telling her that he realized that not having us in his life, he felt empty, and that he wanted us back. My mother gave him one last chance, but in order for that to happen, he had to move down to the South with us. So my father moved down there, and for the first time, we were actually a very happy family. He was different. He never put his hands on us ever again. He never disrespected us ever again, and he never took a sip of one beer ever again. But I only got to enjoy it for 2 years, because after 2 years, my parents passed away, and I moved back to Ohio, and I lived with my grandparents 2 summers after. That's why I bumped heads with Juan again, and then we were on the phone that 1 month. So did anyone get lost? No? Okay, good. So, you know when you're on the phone for a very long time, your ear gets really red and sweaty, right? So both of my ears were really sweaty, and my phone was about to die, and I had to let him go. So right before we hung up, Juan asked me out on a date, and I said, okay, why not? So where do teens usually go on their first date? Movies, yeah. So our first movie, our first movie together was Coach Carter. And after that awesome, amazing date, we went on many other dates. He took me to go see more movies. We went out to eat, and it wasn't McDonald's. He actually took me to nice restaurants. He would come over And he would get to know my family and my friends, and I did the same thing. I went to his house and got to know his family. We would go to the park and play ball. At that time of year, I was really into baseball, so we played baseball a lot together. We just had a great time. And what can I say about Juan? Juan was just so amazing, so much fun to be around with. What else can I say? He was so charming and so caring, and to this day it makes me cry. Because he was just so amazing, so amazing. And, excuse me. And it was February 27 of 2005 when we made it official and we became boyfriend and girlfriend. And we were so cute together, and I'm not even going to brag. We were so cute together, okay? Just, you know, Juan, not only was he just so great, but he was just very, very smart. And he had goals for himself, and I loved that about him. And not only did he just have the personality that was, you know, that he was, I always said that I needed a guy that was able to keep up with me. And he was able to keep up with me very well. And I like that. And not only that, but he was very, very good looking. Extremely good looking. He was your typical Puerto Rican guy, okay? Tall, dark, and handsome. All right? He had beautiful eyes. They weren't green or blue, but his long, curly eyelashes just drove me nuts. And he had a gorgeous smile. And I fell head over heels over this guy. We were in love with each other. We became inseparable at one point. Every time we had a chance to be together, we took it. Every morning, I woke up thinking about him. He was the first person I called, or when I had a cell phone, that's why I started texting him. I mean, it was magical. How many here have a boyfriend or girlfriend or have already dated? I'm not your mom. I'm not going to get you in trouble. Just raise those hands. All right, many. Okay. So you already know how it is when you start dating this guy or this girl for the first time and you're really, really, really liking this person. Even my older folks here, okay? All right? You know, you just start, you already know, every time you see that person, all you can do is smile. Or when they hug you or when they give you kisses, you just have butterflies in your tummy and you can't do nothing but blush. Oh, Lord, he made me feel that way. It was living a teenage dream with him. Everything together. We did everything together. My family loved him. My friends got along with him. And I just thought I found the love of my life, the guy that I'm going to be with for a very long time. And, I even said one day we're going to get married. And as things were going as perfect as you could, as like a fairy tale or a movie on the TVs, little things started to change between Juan and I. About 4 to 5 months in a relationship, he started to be very jealous. And I didn't think it was a big deal at that time because, who doesn't get jealous? It happens. It's normal. I didn't think nothing of it. And, I thought when Juan got jealous, I thought it was cute. Yeah. Because I thought that was the way of him showing me that he cared or that he was actually paying attention to me. But then in time, that jealousy turned out to be not so cute. Because that's where he started to be very controlling and very possessive. Controlling and telling me what I could wear and what I couldn't wear. Who I can talk to and who I couldn't talk to. And obviously, I couldn't talk to boys. That was a big thing. When we first started dating, I told him from the beginning, I have more guy friends than I have girlfriends. And he knew that. And he was okay with it. But then as time went on and he started to be jealous, he started asking me, did you ever like him? Or did you ever date one of them? Or did you ever have the problem where he wanted you so bad, but you just never wanted to be with him? He started asking me these weird questions. And then as time went on, he started accusing me of cheating on him with one of my friends. Or I couldn't talk to a boy. I couldn't laugh with a guy. I couldn't stand around, with a group of guys. Because again, I was cheating or I was flirting or I just really was dying for some male attention. Then it got to where every time we went, I went out with my girls. My only 3 friends that I got. And, or when I went out with my family, he called me every 3 to 5 minutes. He blew up my phone. And at first, I was all right. He's just trying to see if I'm doing okay and just checking up on me, if I'm safe or whatever. But then as it kept going on and as months went by and it was still happening, it just got annoying after that. And every time he just called, I'm like, why are you calling me? I just got done seeing you. Or if I didn't answer the phone because I purposely ignored the phone call, he left me a voicemail. If he didn't leave a voicemail, he would text me. Where you at? Who you with? When are you going to be home? You say you were going to be home at 6:30. It's 7 o'clock. How come you haven't called me yet? And then it grew to where he started to put me down all the time, calling me names all the time. So you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're worthless, you're a piece of crap. And you guys already know what other names he called me. And, to me, words were just words, and I was able to brush them off really fast. And what also helped was that I was a very, very confident person. Probably a little too confident. My friends used to say that I was conceited. And I used to say, I know, and I got a reason to be, honey. Okay? And I would just walk away. All right? Because I knew I was beautiful. All right? And I knew I was gorgeous. And I knew I was smart. I had really good grades growing up through my whole school years. From kindergarten to high school, I maintained my grades. I loved school. I participated in school. I was in the drama club. I was in the dance team. I had a lot of friends. I was your typical popular girl. I had a lot of friends. I was very fun to be around. I was close to one of my teachers that I have here. I was close to them. I was just your typical girl, fun girl. But as time went on and as times that when Juan kept saying those things to me, little by little those words started to break me. And that's where as more as I believed that I was fat and ugly and worthless, the more depressed I began to be, and the more I isolated myself from my friends and my family. Every weekend you will see me out and about with my cousins. Every weekend it was movies night with my cousins. That didn't happen anymore. I had to be on the phone with him. If I wasn't on the phone with him, I was with him. Because that's how he wanted it. Why did he want it that way? And why did I keep going? Because he don't make me feel guilty about it. I was telling him, hey, I'm going out with my cousins tonight. He's like, oh, for real? I had all these things planned for us today. I was going to do this for you. I was going to do that for you. I had it planned, and I wanted to surprise you. That's why I didn't tell you. And since I felt bad, I dropped my plans with my family or my friends, and I did what I had to do with him, whatever he had planned. And the more I kept backing myself away, the more my friends got concerned. They start at, how many here have a best friend? Even my ladies here, the grown ladies, I know you guys have best friends, right? Don't you have to, isn't it having a best friend like being in a second relationship? Right? You have to call each other every day or see each other, or you have to text or Facebook one another, because if not, they on your case, right? Right. So my best friends and my 2 other good friends, since they didn't hear from me in a while and they didn't see me around, only in school, they started asking me, how come you don't come over anymore? You don't sleep over like you used to. How come you don't want to hang out with us? My family, you used to love doing this. You used to love doing that. How come you don't do that anymore? My classes, I sat in the front row of most of my classes. And I love to participate. I participated in my classes. And I always got in trouble for talking in my classes. All you hear my teacher say is, and Miss Miller shaking her head like, uh-huh. But, my teacher, all you hear say, Joe, get out of the class. Joe, you got detention. You got ISS for running my mouth too much. And then it got to a point where I was very quiet. It got to where I wasn't that normal talkative girl. My grades never really went down in class, but my participation wasn't there. I still did drama, but it wasn't the same because Juan joined the drama team. And it just wasn't the same anymore. I didn't have as much fun as I did because he would be watching my every move, and he was literally like an infection. I just couldn't get rid of him, okay? But it just wasn't the same. High school for me was so much fun. I loved high school. But then Juan decided to, he transferred to my high school. He went from John Marshall High School to Lincoln West High School. And again, he joined my drama. So it wasn't the same. Having him in school just wasn't the same. He literally watched my every move. Literally. He made me change that schedule so we could have at least 2 classes together. And this was my daily day. It was him picking me up in the morning. We walked to school together. We had 2 classes together. In between classes in the hallway, he would literally come to my class and look through the window and say, hey, get a pass and come over here. Come see me. Then it got to where, after that, he joined my after-school activities. Then he walked me home. And if he didn't stay at my house, he went home and he called me and we were on the phone all day. The entire time. Sometimes he made me do his homework because he didn't have time to do it. And, I was very smart, so, he wanted a good grade in something he didn't get. And I kept telling myself that things will get better and that things will get better, and I will talk to him about about him not trusting me, about him not giving me my space. And he will always tell me, baby, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I'll stop. Or he will say, help me change, I'll do anything. And I would just pass it on, and we would go about our days. And then after a year, things got worse. He started to hit me. And the first time he hit me, I did break up with him, and I told him I never wanted to see him again, to stay out of my house, to just, to forget about me. And then he did this thing where he started crying to me. Not just a tear or two, but he's literally crying, choking up on his sighs, telling me that he was sorry, that he didn't mean to do it, that he loved me and to take him back, and he promised me that he will never do it again. And since I loved him, and I cared about him, and I wanted to believe him, I took him back. And he didn't hit me again, not till about a month later. And then the same scenario went on to where, I broke up with him, he apologized, and we got back together. Every time. And as it kept going on, the hitting got frequent and it got worse. Because at first, he slapped me. Then he would just push me. In public, he never hit me, but he would press on my arm really tight or on my side or on my thigh, and that was a warning that once we were alone that I was going to get it. Then it got to the punching, the kicking, the strangling me, dragging me by my hair, pulling my hair, slapping me back and forth, you name it, he did it all. Why didn't anyone notice the bruise? One never really hit me hard on my face, so I never really had a black eye or anything. All of my bruises were on my arms, around my ribcage areas, or on my legs. In order to hide them, obviously I never wear shorts or skirts, I wore long jeans. I will wear long sleeve shirts, or I'll wear sweaters. Or, you know how us girls, when we start dating, we like to wear our boyfriend's hoodie. I used to wear his hoodie all the time to cover the bruises. Or if someone saw it and they asked me about it, I blamed it on a sport that I played, or I blamed it on my little brother. Because you know how us brothers and sisters are. We like to play, fight, and wrestle with each other the whole entire time. And since I was the oldest, I picked on my brother, and he picked on me the whole time. And we will play fight. Then it will get real. We will for real fight. And so I will blame the bruises on my brother. Did my family and friends believe me? Maybe so. Were they concerned? Maybe so. But they never really came up to me and asked me what was wrong. Mostly what they were concerned was about the way my personality changed. It went to a whole 360. That's what they were concerned about. And I put up with all of that for 2 years. 2 years of him verbally, physically, emotionally, abusing me. And one night I was sleeping, and I was just sleeping in my room, and I just woke up out of nowhere, and I started crying. And I started talking to myself, why am I in this situation? Why am I letting him do this to me? I just can't anymore. And I decided to call him one day, and I broke up with him. And it wasn't my second or third time breaking up with him. It was actually my millionth time breaking up with him. And why did I keep going back in the beginning? Again, like I said before, I loved him. I cared about him. And we built a connection, not only with his family, but also with his friends. And it was hard to let go. But then in time, the only reason why I stayed was because I was scared of him. I didn't know how to get out of it. I didn't know how to tell somebody about it. And he sometimes threatened to kill me. Sometimes he threatened to kill himself or hurt someone I cared about. Sometimes he just simply beat me until I said, okay, fine, we're back together. And that day, I didn't care. I broke it off. And then I called a couple of my girls, and I told them, hey, I broke up with him, but this time it's for real. What do you think my friends told me after that? Yeah, right? I also got, you were too good for him in the first place. You've always deserved better than him. Don't worry, things will get better in time. You don't need him in your life. The next day in school, I had to deal with his friends. Why did you break up with him? He's crying over you. He misses you. And I just simply told his friends to stay out of my business. It has nothing to do with them. A week after the breakup, it was a Sunday night, and I was sleeping. And I woke up by a knock on my window. And when I woke up to go see who it was my ex-boyfriend. And I opened the window, and I went to ask him, what are you doing here? What do you want? So, of course, he told me he wanted to come in and he wanted to work things out. And I said, no, leave me alone, just go home. I closed the window and I walked away. Then he started banging on my window really loud. And I didn't want my brother to wake up, so I ran back to the window, I opened it, and this time I'm begging him, Juan, just go home. You're going to get me in trouble, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Just go home. But he didn't give up. He kept doing it until I ended up giving up, and I told him, fine, come in, say what you have to say, and then leave. He came in, and the first thing he did was he opened my closet door to see if I had anything or anyone in there. And then he went and looked under my bed. And then there's where I asked him, all right, what do you want to talk about? So there's where he slapped me against my bed, got on top of me, he covered my mouth, and he told me to shut up. That all he wants to do is talk. So I nodded my head, okay, he set me up, he sat next to me, and again, he starts telling me how much he loves me, that he wanted another chance, that he would do anything to change. And I just simply told him, Juan, I'm sorry, I just don't want to be with you anymore. It's over. I'm not in love with you anymore. Just leave me alone. So this where he got up and he said, fine, okay then. He grabbed his coat and he took out 2 kitchen knives. And he put one on my chest and one on my throat, and he told me that if I didn't give him another chance, he was going to kill me. So I'm telling him to put the knives away, not to do anything stupid. I just didn't want to be with him, to leave me alone. Then he pressed the one on my chest tighter, and he grabbed the other one, he put it against himself, and he told me again, give me another chance or I'm going to kill you, then I'm going to kill myself. So at this point, I'm already crying, and I'm nervous, and I'm shaking, and I didn't know what to do. But then I ended up telling myself, tell him what he wants to hear, and maybe he won't hurt you. So I told him that we were back together. And I'm telling everything he wanted to hear. And then there's where he calmed down and he put the knife down and he got up and he took off his boots and he went to go lay down on my bed. He told me to lay next to him, and I did. As I was laying next to him, he started talking to me like nothing ever never happened. He went on and telling me what he did that day, telling me more stories about how it was growing up in his child, as a child with his father, and then telling me how he wants things to work out between me and him. And then out of nowhere, he went for a kiss. And I lightly pushed him off and I told him, it's late. I have school tomorrow. You need to go home. I'll see you tomorrow. But he didn't stop. He kept going for a kiss. And the more I kept saying no to him, he got mad at me. The more I kept pushing him off of me, he got rough with me. Then it got to the point where I had no control over anything anymore. He ended up grabbing the knives again. And he ended up raping me that night. And after everything was done, and right before he left, he told me that if I said anything to anyone, that he was going to kill me, kill the person I told, and then burn my house down, and he left. The next day at school, 2 of my good friends came up to me, and they asked me what was wrong. And it took me a while to say it, but I ended up telling them that Juan raped me, and I didn't know what to do about it. So, of course, my friends told me that I had to tell someone, and I had to call the police. And I said, no, I didn't want to. I just can't do it. I don't want to go through this. It's done. I just leave it alone. He's going to hurt someone. But then they told me, if you want him to stop hurting you, you have to say something. So I went and I told one of my teachers. And after I told my teacher, she told the principal. She came to me to tell the principal, and then the principal called the police, and Juan was immediately arrested. After that, a couple days went by, probably even a week went by. I ended up finding out that Juan was on house arrest, and also he was on work release. He was able to go to work whenever he had to while on house arrest. My family and I were very upset about it, not only because he got house arrest, but also because we were never informed. I found out by going to the detective's office, and I had to write a report, and I told him what's going on with Juan's case, and he ended up telling me that he was on house arrest, which I didn't know. And I tried to convince myself and convince my family that, you know what, he's on house arrest, it's okay, it's fine. You know, he can't come near us, it's cool. But I was wrong. While on house arrest, Juan stalked me and harassed me the whole entire time. He would call me. He would be around the corner somewhere. One night he slashed my tires. I tried to get the police involved every single time, but I couldn't because every time I did, they never did nothing about it. I tried to get a protection order against him, but I couldn't get one because he was under the age of 18. So nothing worked for me. I put up with it for 2 weeks, and it was a Monday evening. It was March 5th of 2007. I was heading home from school, which I had an awesome day at school that day. I was heading home from school, and I had to hurry up and get ready to go back to school because I had cosmetology classes in the evenings. Got ready. I kissed my grandmother goodbye, and as I walked out the door towards the car, I had the worst feeling in my gut, but then again, I felt the same way for 2 weeks. So I just didn't think nothing of it. I walked to the car, put my bag in the back seat. I get in the driving seat, and I leaned over to grab my keys. As I leaned over to grab my keys, I saw something move on my left side. I took a quick look, and I didn't see anything. I didn't see anyone. I just simply told myself, Joe, you're just going crazy. You're paranoid. You're okay. So I grabbed the keys, and I put in the ignition. And I was about to turn the car on, and right before I turned the car on, this is where I saw my ex-boyfriend come out from the back of my driveway, and he was dressed in all black. He had a black mask on, black gloves, the whole 9 yards. And as he came out, all I was able to do was look at him, and we looked at each other for a long time. And out of nowhere, he pulled out a shotgun, and he pointed it at me. And my body just froze at this moment. I had no reaction. And we looked at each other, and right when I snapped out of it and I was going to, turn the car on and drive off, it was already too late. He had already shot me in the face, and I blacked out. I don't remember much after that. I do remember waking up to my grandmother. I only remember bits and pieces on my way to the hospital. I do remember being in the emergency department, and I heard and felt everyone around me. And then it got quiet once we got to the back. And then there's where a nurse, she held my hand, and she told me that everything was going to be okay, that I was going to be just fine, and that they were going to put me to sleep. And the last thing I remember telling her was that I didn't want to die. A couple days later, I woke up in a room surrounded by family and friends, and also finding out that half of my lower face was missing. So I got to meet my surgeon, and my surgeon came up with the most coolest, the most creepiest idea ever to make me a new job. And this cool, creepy idea was that they were going to take a bone out of my leg to rebuild me a jaw. I thought that was some cool stuff. So I was very excited. And so they did the surgery about a month later. After the month, I was able to talk about 2 weeks after the surgery. I had to take a lot of physical therapy to get my legs strong again. I had to take a lot of speech therapy, and I also couldn't eat till like about a year after the surgery. I survived on a feeding tube for 6 months. After 6 months, I got to eat soft foods, which you already know that is very limited, and most of them are very disgusting. And then I got to smash on pizza, burgers, fried chicken, steak, you name it, I smashed on it all. And I lived in the hospital for 2 months, and when I got to go home, I was excited because I thought I was able to go back to school and do my thing. But I was not able to walk in the building. I had to, one day wanted to prevent infections, and one day were also looking out for my safety, and the media just didn't leave me alone. They were on my case. So I really just stayed home. But my family and I, we called the school and we told them, hey, since I can't walk in the building, I want a teacher to come to my house every day with all of my work. So I did most of my work at home, and I still got to go to prom, and I got prom queen, which was very, very exciting. And I still got to graduate high school, and I got my diploma with my friends and with my teachers, which was an awesome, wonderful experience. And it was joyful, and I felt like, like I won. Like Juan never stopped me from doing what I had to do for myself. And while I was having fun, I had to face Juan in court. And at his sentencing, he cried like a baby, and he said that he was sorry, that he made the biggest mistake of his life. And honestly, his apology meant nothing to me. It just felt more that he was sorry for himself than for what he actually did. But that day, I got to say something to him. I wrote him a poem, and I got to read it to him that day. And after the poem, I told him that I didn't hate him, that I wasn't mad at him, that I forgave him, and that I prayed for him every day. But whatever he had coming to him, he deserved it. He got 27 years in prison, no parole. I haven't heard from him since, and hopefully it stays that way. It's going to be 4 years in March since this happened, and I was 18 at the time. I am now 22 years old, and I work for the Domestic Violence Center in Greater Cleveland. I'm a teen educator, and this is exactly what I do. I go to schools from all over Ohio, and this year I'm actually starting to go outside of Ohio to share my story to the boys and girls so you guys can learn from it, so you guys could take it with you, take it to your families and your friends, your boyfriends or your girlfriends. Let them know what you learned here today. It is out there from people of all ages, all races, all economic statuses. Doesn't matter where you live, it is out there. And I wouldn't want any of you, I don't want any of you to go through what I've been through. And I don't want any of you to go through what Juan's going through right now. He was 17 years when he went in prison. He won't get out of there till he's 44 years old. He threw his whole life away. So thank you for having me here today. Just a little FYIs. I got to help pass 2 laws here in Ohio. As I said in my story, teens weren't able to get protection orders, but now you can. From ages 13 to 18, you're allowed to get one. Either you're being in an abusive relationship or stalked or bullied. You could go on your own. You don't need a parent present. You could go on your own and get one. Another one I helped pass, thank you. And another one I got to help pass is that now in grades 7 to 12 in your health classes, your teachers have to educate you about teen dating violence. So it's been an awesome 4 years of experience. And I don't know if we're taking questions right now.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cody Anello, and I'm a senior at St. Edward High School. Today at the City Club Youth Forum, we are listening to Miss Johanna Orozco, teen educator for the Domestic Violence Center of Cleveland. Our microphone holders today are Aaron Mann of Hathaway Brown and Leslie Wellner of Hathaway Brown. Thank you.
Do I just go? Yeah. My name is Katie Atkinson. I'm from Elyria High School. And I was just wondering, after going what you went through, have you started dating again? Or
Yes, I have. I have a boyfriend now. I've been with him for like a year and a couple months, and he is too good to me, and he better stay too good to me. A lot of people get surprised when I say yes, I have a boyfriend, and then they ask me, how were you able to trust again? Answer is because not all guys are the same. There are awesome guys out there. Boys and girls just need to set high standards for themselves. Never settle for less, never settle because he's the cutest guy in school or because she a dime piece. It's not about that, okay? It's about who they are and how they're going to treat you. So, again, never settle for less. Have those high standards and go for what you really want.
Deanna Figueroa. I was just wondering, I don't know if this is personal or not, but I was just wondering if you plan to marry your boyfriend too. We're from Lincoln West too.
Oh, yeah, hi, Lincoln West. Red, black, red, white, and blue. There you go. Red, black, wow. We have talked about it. He's in the Army. And, but I am in the, I don't know yet because he doesn't know where he wants to go in his career because he wants to make the Army his career. So depending on how far he goes and how far I go, then we'll talk more about it. But we have mentioned it. Thanks. Thank you. I got you guys next because you've been raising your hands.
My name is Imani, and I'm from Collinwood High School. I just wanted to know. You mentioned how your parents died. They died at the same time. And how did they die?
My mother was sick. She was sick actually like mostly her whole life, and she had kidney disease. While going through dialysis one year, she had a stroke. When she had the stroke, they revived her like 15 minutes after. When she came back, she was just brain dead or whatever. She was in a coma for a whole month. The doctors ended up telling my father that there was no hope for her, and so my father signed the papers and they turned the machines off. And then 4 days later, my mother passed away. 11 days after my mother died, my dad got into a car accident and he died instantly. So.
Hi, over here.
Yes.
My name is Dominique and I go to Collinwood. I just wanted to know if Juan hadn't done all the things that he done to you, would you still be with him?
Of course. I mean, if we were in a healthy relationship, if he wasn't any type of abusive, yes, I'm pretty sure we will still be together. It will be, if this would have never happened and if none of the abuse ever happened, if we stayed in a healthy relationship, Juan and I would have been 6 years this February together on the 27th. So I promised them that they could go.
My name Derek. I'm a East Tech Scarab. I want to know, did y'all do counseling? Like you and your boyfriend, did y'all do counseling in high school?
They never. I don't know if they even have like. I know they have counseling for now. I know that at the Domestic Violence Center they have teen support groups. They have counseling for boys and girls. But at the time, I never went counseling with my boyfriend. Well, ex-boyfriend. No.
My name's Kaylee, and I'm from Elyria High, and I wanted to know, after all you went through with Juan, how did you get the confidence to sit in the same courtroom as him?
You can say I didn't really have a choice to go in and to be if I didn't want to be in the courtroom or not, since at the time I was a victim. Because I do not call myself a victim, I am a survivor. Thank you. But I really wanted to face him for the last time and to let him know that he didn't break me, that he didn't make me fall, that he made me a better person, and that he didn't win, that I did. So that was mainly it. Anyone on this side?
My name's Shaquille Taylor. I go to East Tech. I just wanted to know, how did you respond to your friends, like, when you was going through it? Like, when they said something, how did you respond to it, and are you friends with them now?
Do you mean like, did I talk to him about the abuse, like, while I was with him? When I was with him, I never told a soul about it. I kept it to myself. Do I regret it? Yes, I do. I would have said something a lot earlier, and I would have said it to like a family member, not a friend. But yes, I am still friends with my friends back in high school. Facebook does wonders. So.
Hey, I'm Jasmine from John Hay A&D. And my question is, do you still talk to his family? Like, do you still know them, interact with them, or no?
I do not talk to any of his family and do not want to talk to any of his family. I had nothing to say to them. I don't care what they have to say to me. The relationship is over.
My name is Kristen Patton, and I go to Garrett Morgan Cleveland School of Science Academy. I want to know, do you regret going with Juan?
I do not regret going with Juan. If I could do this all over again, I would, just because of all the changes I've done here in Ohio and all the people I have helped. But do I regret not saying something earlier? Like I said before, yes, I do not regret saying something earlier. There was a question over here.
My name's Brianna, and I go to John Adams. My question is that, to go along with hers, did you ever, like, was his family concerned about anything that was going on between you guys? Did you even, like, were they aware that he was beating on you?
I'm pretty sure they weren't, because if they were, I'm pretty sure they would have, like, done something about it. What they were concerned about mainly, what my family, they got together and talked about while we were together, was about how much we actually were seeing each other. And they didn't like that we kept seeing each other a lot. So that was the only family-to-family meeting we had together. But I don't think they knew about the abuse that was going on.
Hi, my name is Natia Howard. I'm from Garrett Morgan Cleveland School of Science Academy. I want to ask you, what was the poem about, and if you can tell us parts of it or it.
The poem was mainly about how wonderful it was and how bad it ended. And I totally blocked that poem out of my head. I do not like that poem because it was my last poem to him. But how it started was Prince Charming. It was clear to see that happily ever after wasn't meant to be. And that's how it started. So that's all I do remember.
Hey, and my question is, do you feel like what you went through made you stronger and like better, made you a better person as far as like you took your experience and learned from them? And I got another question, like, do you still care about them at all? There.
It's a question. Yes, it did make me a lot stronger and a very, very better, better person. I appreciate life more than I ever did before. I'm always happy. I never let the little things get to me. Do I care about him? I have no type of feelings for him, not good or bad. It's nothing. Like I said, it's not that I wish him bad. I don't wish him good. I just don't wish him anything. It's nothing there, nothing. I'm not mad, I'm not happy. It's nothing.
Hi, my name is Sarojini, and I'm from John Marshall. And I just wanted to know, like, while you were with him those 2 years, did you ever try to, like, talk to him about why he treats you like that, or if he would stop?
Many times we talked about it. We went on and I will sit down and talk to him, or we will be on the phone talking to each other. It was many times, probably over 100 times we did talk. And things were good for a while, and then it went back to the same thing. So they've been having their hand up for like 10 minutes.
It's my coin. Okay. My name's Tori from Mid Park. Over here.
Sorry.
I was just wondering, like, during the court case, was his family, like, more supporting him than you? Like, did they feel bad at all?
I'm pretty sure they felt bad for what happened. But of course, that's his family. They were very supportive. They were on his side the whole entire time. They were, they cried. They were heartbroken. But that's all as much as I can really tell you.
Hello, my name is Philip Williams. I'm from St. Martin.
Hello.
What do you think causes teen dating violence?
What do I think causes it? Well, like jealousy is a big thing, and when it comes to relationships, when jealousy comes in, I'm not saying that. Let's just say, sorry to use you for an example, but let's just say me and him start dating, right? Which is not gonna happen. But he turned so red. But well, let's just say we start dating, and let's just say I'm jealous over this girl that he talked about. It's a normal thing. It happens. Being jealous is normal. But let's just say, like, in about a month, I'm still jealous towards him and about what he does and who he's talking to. Then he should start thinking about, what should I do? Should I still be with her? So let's just say, about a month, if that jealousy has not turned into trust, then that's where you need to start thinking to yourself and start to be very concerned about what's going on. And jealousy, does anybody know where jealousy comes from? Insecurity. So if you're very insecure about yourself or about anything, then jealousy will be coming. So you have to be a very, very confident person in order to be in a relationship. Because if you can't love yourself, then who else can you love?
I'm Asia. I'm from Shaker Heights High School, and I'm a senior.
What?
I was wondering, like, after all the time of you being in a relationship with Juan, did you ever, like, picture yourself actually being in a relationship, like, abusive relationship?
Like, did I ever think it will happen again?
Yeah, like what you went through.
Well, I was afraid, and that's why I didn't really date for a while. But, I just know the warning signs now. I know what to look for, and it will never happen again. Any guy that will try to put his foot, if he's being too abusive and too controlling, from the first day he says something. Bye. Okay. So.
My name is Jesse Anderson. I'm from John Marshall High School. The question I wanted to ask was, if it's any young man or young lady that's going through it or doing the abuse, what would you tell them at this present time?
Okay. Many of you, that probably will have friends that are going through something like this, or if you yourself are going through something like this. I brought information, like little booklets. Like, they're very tiny. I have English and Spanish. It has our 24-hour hotline to where you can call, and it's totally anonymous. And you can ask any questions to what you want to know. But my suggestion is for you to call, or to talk to your parents about it, or to talk to someone that you can actually trust, like a teacher, maybe you're real close to a teacher or your aunt, just an adult. Because if you really tell a friend, which most of 99% of the time, teens go to their friends before they go to a parent or a teacher. Friends. The friends need to be ready and to know what they need to do before, just in case if a friend does come up to them and tell them, I'm going through an abusive relationship, what can I do? So like many of you are asked before, how many of you have a best friend, right? A lot of you raised your hands. I also have a best friend, and since I never really told her anything, but she feels guilty because she had an idea, and she says if I would have said something, if I would have said something to her, she wouldn't help me, or if she would have said something sooner to someone, that I could have gotten some help. So my best friends here, best friends, if a friend comes up to you and tells you that she or he is going through an abusive relationship, whether if it's verbal or physical, whatever the case, and they tell you, but please don't tell anybody, and the best friend code is you keep it to yourself, don't keep it to yourself. You need to tell somebody, and don't you go and tell your friend, because that friend's going to tell another friend, and then there's where the rumors and the gossip start. That best friend needs to go to an adult, a teacher, or her parents, your parents, so she could get the right resources, or he could get the right resources to get that help. And yeah, that person will not talk to you. Your best friend will be mad at you, and she at one point will tell you, hey, I never want to talk to you ever again. But once he or she is safe and out of the relationship, they will love you and thank you for it for the rest of their lives. So just educate yourself. I see you got the little booklet there. Educate yourself on it. And if we even have our website, you can go on our website, and it has tons of information that I can tell you guys right now, but it will take them about 2 days to say it. But we do, like I said before, we have teen support groups, which I am the leader. So and we have like many activities and stuff. And February is Teen Dating Awareness Month, and there's many activities that we have done and we are doing. And there's a lot of things. Just call that number. Everybody, call the number. And there is lots of help out there. You're not alone in this. Not alone. 1 to 3 students have been or will be in an abusive relationship. 1 to 3. 1 to 3. So.
My name is Ezekiel. I'm from Lincoln West High School.
Hold on, guys.
And my question is, did you ever believe that Juan had bipolar disorder?
Juan was 100% healthy. And in most of these cases, a lot of people say, oh, it's because he's drinking or she's doing drugs, or because he's stressed out in school, or probably he's bipolar. Yeah, being bipolar, it might cause that to, that's a booster. But 95% of these cases, none of them have a mental illness at all. They know what they're doing. It is a choice. A lot of people blame it because, oh, I saw it growing up at home, or because I'm a drug dealer because that's all I learned to be. You have a choice to be different. Juan had a choice to be like his father or to be different. And he chose his route. You always have a choice. Life is nothing about choices. You can make the good ones or the bad ones. Last question? Okay.
Did it take you to regain your confidence, your self-esteem?
It took me about 2 years to regain my confidence back. When this first happened and I first saw myself in the mirror for the first time in my life, I broke down. I was so depressed. I considered myself, that I looked like a monster. I made every nurse and all of my families to cover the mirrors because I did not want to see myself. But it took time. And as I learned to love myself again and to feel gorgeous like I feel today, I was able to be with someone else. Thank you.
That was a great speech. Thanks a lot. We would like to thank Miss Johanna Orozco for just about everything she said up here. So one more time, please. I would like to thank all you ladies and gentlemen for showing up at the Cleveland Youth Forum today, and we would like to ask you to please fill out the surveys before you leave today. And this now concludes this forum is now adjourned.